Hello traders, welcome back to HM Trading channel. Today I would like to share about my trading journey since the start, how I got into trading, timeline of me being broke to profitable, and how long it actually takes. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We will be doing daily live trading right here. My trading journey began 8 years ago where I started off get into trading. So I have a group of friends that started off trading and I follow them to join a funny group. And I remember back then the first initial capital that I put in for trading was 1,000 US dollar. And I remember clearly the broker that I deposited back then and I made profits, but I couldn't withdraw the profits. During 2016, that's the first year of me get into trading. And I realized the group that I joined, they don't really earn profits from trading. So it's basically kind of like a MLM group. So I decided to quit and I actually stopped trading for a while and back to pursuing my career during this period of time. And some of you guys might know I used to be a chef or so-called a cook. The salary I was getting back then is just 2 to 3k ringgit, equivalent to kind of 500 to 600 US dollar right now. I was working in couple of 5 stars hotel during this period of time. COVID hits on 2020. That's where I got back into trading. When the first year that I get back into trading during 2020, I used the initial capital of 3,000 US dollar and eventually I flip it to 19,000 US dollar, and along the way I did a couple of withdrawals that is over of my initial capital. But because I was having the mindset of flipping account back then, which is not the realistic gain and it involved a lot of high risk when you try to flip the account. And later on, I blew the 19k that I made, but I was not negative because along the way, I did multiple withdrawals that's over the initial balance. Now, you might see traders out there still try to flip their account in 2024 right now, but this is something that is not realistic. If you look into realistic gain, we should be aiming for realistic results with a proper risk management, because when anyone trying to flip the account at this point, they're gonna full margin, full pot the account. That's gonna be either they flip it or either they actually lose the whole account. After I lost the $19,000 live account, right, and then I discovered prop firms. Big mistake that I made right here is I straight up go for a 50k FTMO challenge. So back then I discovered FTMO and get to know the rules and how did the prop firms work out back then, and I decided to jump onto a 50k challenge with no experience, right? So the correct way is actually for me to go for the free trial or go for the smaller account size at the start, but instead I'm going for 50k challenge and I lost 4 accounts of 50k's back then, right, on FTMO. And I lost 4 50k account back then when I have less experience with prop firms. Later on, I discovered my forex fund, which has more affordable price and easier target to achieve. And also, I have made some changes and improvised my trading strategies and trading plan. That's where I get my first funded accounts on my forex funds. It's also a 50k funded account. Got my first 50k funded account, and I also got my first payout around 1,000 plus US dollar. And you couldn't believe the game changer is actually me trading lesser amount of time. So I just trade 5 minutes per day back then. Just focus on NYSE Open 5 minutes and decide I'm gonna be buying or selling on US 30 on the 5 minutes. And that's where I get funded and get my first paid out. All went smooth because it's my first challenge on my forex fund and I get funded and I get a paid out. So I got greedy and I'm looking into 10%, 20% paid out, and I'm trying to make a bang from a 50k funded account. That's eventually after the first paid out, I actually lost this funded account. Later on, all right, I used the profit that I made to scale up to 200k funded account, And this is also where my mindset has not come to a point of looking into realistic gain, because I remember clearly when I get funded with a 200k account and I made 39,000 US dollar profit, and I fuck it up on the last few days of withdrawal, means that I lose all this profit because I'm losing it on a daily drawdown, even though this account is still on. So I'm having these unrealistic thoughts and unrealistic gain that I want to make a lot of money in a single payout, and it often involve in high risk. So after this scenario, I took a break, right, and I came back off to look for real estate gain. So when I'm looking into real estate gain and I'm only looking for 1 to 2% consistent paid up, that's where I got into break even stage very soon. Because when I get funded with 100k account, I get funded with another 100k account and another 100k account with the profit, a partial profit made from the paid up, right? So I would spend 20% or 30% of the paid out back then to reinvest into scaling up my prop firm's capital. That's where also I started off trying out different prop firms out there. So when I have 1 to 2% consistent paid out, and also that's where we started off the YouTube channel, we started off live trading, and also the live stream helped a lot on me building up the disciplines towards my trading plan, right? So it helps a lot for me to improvise my trading plan and also sticking to the setup that I should be taking during the live sessions. So that's where I started off becoming profitable from the break-even stage. So I was not earning much on the break-even stage back then. I was just getting back the initial capital that I have invested along the way, invested into prop firms. When I really focus on 1 to 2% consistent payout, the results significantly increase, and that's where these 2 years prop firms has really changed my life. So you guys can also check out my other videos to get an ideas the payout that I got from other prop firms, and also got interview with some of the prop firms. So next I'm gonna discuss how you can also looking into leverage prop firms capitals to actually make a consistent payout, and using the profits to fund other of your investment, or using the profits to actually build up your personal life capital. So let's say today you are a beginner to prop firms, or you are experienced traders on prop firms. How can you actually leverage prop firms capitals or try to make good amount of payouts from prop firms? So I'm just kind of sharing and discussing this. So if I would have do this again and joining the prop firm industries and started off becoming a funded traders as a beginners, I would avoid the mistake of starting with 50k account. First thing is gonna be I want to start small. It can be starting with a smaller account size, or it can be even starting with free trial, and from there make sure to spend less, right? Because if we spend too much, or we kind of revenge overspending in terms of the live deposit on live brokers, or even you keep on purchasing challenge and after feeling, right? The losing stage become bigger and bigger. So when you lose too much of money, it's hard for you to get a breakout to the break-even stage, where the break-even stage is further away from you because you did not control towards your investment, right? You did not control towards your costing, and later on the ROI will be further and further away. So start small, spend less is the key. Along the way, when we trying out all these problem challenges or problem evolutions, right? You will have designated risk management, you have designated drawdown rules for you to follow. That's where you can use it to build a strategies. Build a strategies that allows you to pass a challenge, allow you to get funded, to get a paid up, and try to get consistent with it, right? When you collected the data, so follow the strategies to go on and go on. And the third part is do not rush the process, because when I used to rush the process and I try to make unrealistic gain, try to make a 40,000 payouts on a big account size, and that's not realistic. Eventually, all right, I got greedy, and when you got greedy, that you are not feeling you're not following your trading plan, that's where it can give a negative result. I would say do not rush the process. So for experienced traders, if you are looking into scaling up your capital, for this time being, I would say 2024, right, very important thing is gonna be choose the right prop firm. Especially there's so much things happening on the prop firm industry. There's less reliable firms that you can rely on. Some with unclear rules and some that you need to worry that your payout is not being delivered. So choose the right platform is very important for experienced traders. And second thing gonna be focused on consistent payout, right? Instead of focusing on one big payout, focus on consistent payout, realistic payout that you can be confident making off it, right? So let's say 1-2%, 2-3% per payout, or 3-4% per month, something that you can focus consistently to print it out monthly instead of you chasing off a 10-20% payout, because that's what the mistake I made back then. But let's say you have a couple of funded accounts, you have more than 3-4 funded accounts, you can always allocate one funded account to be more aggressive in terms of the risk, and that's where we use the risk diversification strategy. So when you diversify your risk, the profit can also be diversified in terms of funding the life capital, right? Like actually what I did, all right, I also use some of the profit made from prop firms to fund the life capital. And when I'm trading a live account, I always aiming for withdrawal instead of flipping the account, right? Aiming for real estate gains and trying to withdraw the profits instead of trying to flip the account to the moon or to flip the account to nowhere at the end of the day. So pretty much that's it for today's video. Let me know what is the struggle you're going through, and also if you guys has been already experienced in the problem industry or in the trading in general, do also share what is the game changer that you did in the comment sections. And that's about it. See you guys on the next video.